Okay, so I'm working on my Operation Washi, and you know what? I realize I don't do this. Hey guys, so this is Mia. Um, I am the little voice behind when Monday comes. It's the young girl in me that enjoys all the planner things, but I'm also the person who owns a company that does specialty branding and strategic planning, integration, consultation, whatever you want to call it, for some brands, some personalized brands, some corporate brands. There's a little mixture of the industries that I work in. And because of that, it gives me a reason, as you can see, to love on all of my planner things, journal things, pen things, blah 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 blah. Oh yeah, I'm always working and watching. Shout out to Grace. Anyway, back to it. So, it is the end of the second quarter, and this is generally when I start to begin to plan out 26. And for what I'm working on right now is actually 26 and 27. Hey, I've been wondering, so random, but I'm always curious to know what our planner girls do. So obviously we have those who are creators in the community. You make planners, stickers, journals, blah, 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 blah. However, I'm always interested to know, what do you guys do, planner friends? Like, what do you do? So introducing what I do, like I mentioned, I'm a strategic consultant, and so I work in multiple spaces for multiple businesses, whether it's commodities, agriculture, entertainment, editorial, publications. There's a number of things that I do. And that's the reason why I need all of the things, the computers, the calendars, the Googles, the washi, the stickers, give us a reason to use it, we'll use it, right? And so that's a little bit about me, and I think I'll get into it more about what I am and what I do and how it just gives me the opportunity to love the things that I love. But today it is all about Operation Washi. So, Operation Washi. I have been bothered by how much washi tape I have and how much of it that I actually use. And I think when I first, I can't say when I first got into it, because when I first got into planners and things, washi did not exist. We're talking about my second, third grade year of school. I've been in this game for a very long time. From the digital to the actual physicals, I've had it all, done it all, love it all. I'm all the things. However, washi, probably over the last 2000, okay, I'm back. So 2000, probably 7, maybe somewhere around that time frame. Either way, it's 2025, and I have collected a lot of washi that I have not used. And so as I have changed my systems, I showed a video before about how I use it, a lot of the ways that a lot of us do, in our planners, just to give it some pizzazz, some love, some color, whatever you want to call it. One of the things that I have also done outside of my happy planner and my notebooks that I use, I don't do a whole lot of washi in my daily notes, because this is really where the brain gets dumped. As you can see, all of my squigglies, this is a very important brain dumping book. But I've always kept one of these, multiple reasons. One reason is because when I move around, when I travel, this baby is heavy. I don't like to always carry her. So I don't carry her when I go to meetings. I don't carry her when I go out of town, unless it's beyond a certain amount of days. And I've also mentioned that in my previous videos. If I'm out of town for a couple of days, it's staying home. If I'm out of town for a couple of weeks, it's coming with me, because I can't be without my baby, right? However, this bad boy stays with me wherever I go. And so this is my new planner. The one I had ended in June of 2025. As we know, we are here about to enter into July. And this one specifically I got for 25 to 27, because with the clients that I'm working with right now, a lot of planning is going into 26 and 27 currently. So I really need to map it out. However, I'm getting on here to say that when I go through my project management tools, shout out to Asana. That's what I like to use. Asana, Notion are my favorites. You would think Monday, because of Monday Monday.com and when Monday comes, but I don't. I like Monday, but I use Asana. It's just easier. It's easier to integrate with people who don't really understand project management tools because I'm very transparent with my clients. I always give them access to the portal. It's just easier for them to see, but it's just really because it's an easier learning curve for me. Anyway, I have all of my deadlines and things imported into my Google Calendar. That's really so that I can manage what my calendar looks like on a week-to-week basis. So I don't know if you can see, but I'm major time blocking. This is this week that we just exited. So if we look to next week, we can just see the things. But when it comes down to seeing full scale, and because I have currently 6 companies, so that's 6 companies plus my personal. All right, here we go. We're going to see if I can get it done in 3 takes. So I think I left off with my 6 clients. So my 6 clients, my personal life, my sorority life, and then of course obviously my personal life outside of my relationship, my family, all the things, right? My son-in-law. So it becomes a lot. And so what I do with this is that I either pencil in this for dates that are thrown my way when I may be in meetings, or when I may, I'm just moving around and I'm just trying to plot out what the next thing looks like. But I also need something that shows me full body where all bodies intersect. So I like to keep the projects separate. But even though my calendar, so all of my calendars, you'll see, I don't know if you can see it, but all of my calendars, like these are my clients. All of my calendars are separate from my clients. But this is like my weekly. I go to it every week, see what's going on, see what I need to plan, just manage the workload. I add my tasks in there. But this is what it allows me to actually see everything from beginning to end. So I'm about to work this up, so I'll be right back for what it looks like. Okay, and we are back. So I took the time and went through all of my Asana project list so that I could combine everything in here and have myself ready for, as you can see, 2025, 2027. This is specifically for when I sit and I am working in space or in a planning meeting. This is the best thing to have for a few reasons. If you use a Google Calendar or any kind of calendar and you have a multitude of tasks on one day, a lot of times if you're pulling it up on your phone, there's a lot of clicking that you have to go through because you can't see all of the information in the task. And because of what I do, I need to have information readily available at hand. So I'm just going to walk you through this real quick so you can see how I finished setting everything up, and this will get me through for the next 2 years. So let's go. So like most planners, intro page. This is the page and I will show you what the next year looks like, but because this starts in July, these are the few items that I need to make sure that I note from June that I need to just carry over and have at a glance. So I just kind of laid them here. See, I'm using the washi, Operation Use Washi. This right here is my little cheat code. So these are all of the different things that are aligned with the washi tape and how I organize everything inside of here. And then I just have a couple of other little things, like I'm always counting on my fingers my quarters. So these are my quarters. These are some little washis that I have left over from the planning, and I'll explain how these ended up here. And let's get into it. So each year, 25, 26, and 27 have a page like this. So you have January through June, and then you have July through December. So obviously this is January through June, and I just covered it up because we're no longer in June. In my mind, we're already here. We're in July of 2025. So that's that page. Okay. And then of course, as it focuses, you can see 26, and then 27. And these pages do get used, but obviously not right now. So this is what happens. It may look a mess, but trust me, it makes sense for me. And I will tell you, as I went through and began to layer, this is what I'm talking about. This helps me see what's going on and where things are a little easier, where there's more space, and where it's a hodgepodge of just a lot of stuff going on. Thank God for a team, because it's usually all hands on deck when we get to this phase of what's going on, right? And so everything is kind of hodgepodge together, and you can see how some months look a little busier than others. But as I begin to see where I can plan in between, these are like the staples. If things have to be changed around, I can easily move it, put it where it needs to go, kind of like Legos. Here's a great example, not as busy. So September is a great month. I'm sure all of this will get filled in with actionable items of things that need to get done as I start to plan out who's on first, who's on second, especially when we begin bringing in the contractors that really help us connect the dots and execute the plans that we have in place. So just showing how I use it, these extras got here because as I begin to layer and lay, and I'll give you a perfect example, the concert series that's happening, the first date is November. Then we have to pick out other concert dates. And then the dates that I originally picked didn't really make sense. So I had to move some things around. So we can see show number 2, show number 3. I believe we have show number 4, show number 5, show number 6, and then we're finished, right? But this was all the way over here on a Monday. Like it just, you never really know until you really start putting things together and in order. So just a little example about how I lay it out. And then here's January. And as far as the next year is concerned, some of the things that I had to already start mapping out, I know that this particular client has something once a quarter for the next year of 2026. So we're mapping out these dates. And as you can see, it's here, but the client and the partner may decide that this date doesn't work. I need to just be able to flex. I need to flex in between here and the beginning of the year or whatever makes sense to them. But you'll see, I just have to map it out. So I've mapped them out. Even with the planner, you can see the tabs here. I didn't go in and put the months yet, but from a full scope, you can see where we have July, August, September, October. And so this is just one of my pieces, one of my tools. But this is what happens is that I will sit down. I have 2 more projects that I need to plan out. But now, because I know I have way more flexibility with that particular client, I can fill her in where there are gaps so that I don't overwhelm myself. A lot of times, if I'm looking at my calendar, it can become a lot because my calendar is more, there are definitely dates on my Google Calendar, but my Google Calendar.
Also, every time I close my eyes, I see the worst possible outcomes for Chloe.
She's here. She's getting the best care, and you being sleep deprived won't change anything. Also, isn't Mr. Donovan on a liquids only diet?
Yeah, like I was saying, but my Google Calendar is really how I manage my daily tasks. So that's what I create my workable moments in, and this is where I really get down into the meat and potatoes and start planning. So let me go ahead and get this production schedule out for these other 2 shows. And again, started off by saying definitely interested in what everyone does professionally, because I just think that we are definitely genuine unicorns, and I would love to know what everyone does. Because I just think that people who do what we do, our brains just activate and function differently. And it takes a brilliant mind, a genius mind, I say, to do the things we do. But we are the schedulers, the doers, the executors in our world. And share with me. What do you do? I'd love to know. Have a good one. Bye.